Good morning. This is Dr. McDaniel. I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist in New York City, and I'm bringing to you all things health-related for women. Thank you for joining me at the corner today. Obviously, I'm not in New York City today. I'm in New Jersey, Marlboro, at the horse farm, Baymar Farms. The horse farm where the girls take their horse lessons. They've been taking equestrian lessons since they were 3 and 5 years old. So Jill for 10 years, because she's 15. See, I can do the math. Jill for 10 years, and Joy she's 11. Joy for 8 years. Yeah. So Jill for 10 years, Joy for 8 years. We've been coming to this same farm for the last 10 years. Every Saturday that the teacher doesn't cancel for a problem, or we don't cancel because we're out of town. So pretty much most of the year, though. I mean, we don't cancel very often. So this is our Saturday morning from 8 to 9 is what it is. And then let's see. So that explains the background. And then today I thought it'd be a good idea to speak about a topic that comes up pretty frequently. And I discuss it with the patients when they bring it up, explain it to them. But I thought I would present it here. It's a quick topic, but that's why I said, what's that burning? So I get the complaint quite often that they were perfectly fine, they didn't have any problems, but she had intercourse, and either during or right after intercourse, she had a lot of burning. And it may have gone away a little bit later, like maybe 20, 30 minutes later or so, and then she had intercourse again, maybe a couple days later. It came back, and then it spread the entire vulvar area, perineum, whole inner lips, outer lips, the whole area, and it didn't go away. And they'll usually say they don't see a discharge, there isn't a bad odor, sometimes it's swollen, burning, occasionally there's little paper cuts, which we call fissures. I have that on another presentation, and no rash, bumps, or sores. So they're wondering, is this a sexual infection or what's going on? So as I tell the patients, that's always a sign that there is something. Usually 90% of the time it's really microscopic or very, very early mild yeast or fungal elements in the vaginal vault. And with intercourse, they've been pulled out, rubbed into the vaginal opening and the surrounding tissues, hence the burning, because yeast is a very strong irritant. It does not take very much yeast to cause a problem. So most of the time, even when they come in, I'll do an exam. I'm going to say 80% of the time I don't see a discharge, but I do see the manifestations of that irritation on the skin, the vaginal opening, the surrounding tissues, and we call that a contact irritant or a vulvitis. So there's always some outside entity that has caused the problem. It's not a sexual infection. None of the sexual infections will do that, unless it's just an unusual presentation of herpes for someone, because maybe they had an outbreak, they didn't know it, and then with intercourse the little blisters popped open or burst, and now they have ulcers. That's extremely rare. That story or that presentation, 98% of the time, I'm going to actually say 99% of the time, is due to a little bit of yeast that was sitting on the sidewalls. It wasn't enough to come out, cause any symptoms. It got dragged out, pulled out with intercourse, rubbed, scrubbed into the vaginal tissues. And if it's just a little bit, they just have intercourse once. It's not a big deal. It goes away pretty quickly because not much of it is on the outside tissue. It's predominantly still in the vaginal vault. The problem is, if they have a repeat intercourse, they still have that little bit of yeast present. Now they're pulling out even more. They've already caused an irritation or inflammatory response in the tissues from the first episode. Now they repeat that, especially if they repeat it a day or two later. Forget it. Now they've pulled a whole bunch out. They've doubled down on the rubbing of that irritant into their tissues, and that's why they come in, because it's untenable. So the treatment's always going to be an antifungal and anti-yeast. So an anti-yeast prescription for the vaginal source, whether or not they can see it, and then an antifungal for the skin, because you're going to need an anti-inflammatory and an antifungal to eliminate the swelling, the burning, and the stinging. It will eventually go away if you just address the yeast, but when you provide a topical antifungal, anti-inflammatory, it will go away within a day or two. If you don't, it might take a week or so to go away. So it makes a huge difference. So I hope that's helpful information on what's that burning. Thanks for joining me at the corner today. Please hit the like, subscribe, and follow buttons if you enjoy the content. Leave a message or ask a question, or pose a new topic for presentation. And hit the bells if you'd like the bell button if you'd like to find out when these presentations are coming out. Get that heads up on the notification. So I hope you enjoyed that information. I think that's really everything I have to say. Well, it's not everything, but that's all I'm going to say to keep this short and sweet. Have a great rest of your day. And if you're watching this on the weekend, I hope you're having a lovely weekend just like we are. Bye.